clear.
Can you tell me your name? Who did this to you? Who did this to you? Sweetheart, can you tell me who did this to you?
Nick Wilde, how you doing?
The movie opens in a Las Vegas nightclub where Nick Wilde is seen having a drink. A woman named Doris enters, catching his attention as she walks to her table. Soon after, a man named Osgood arrives. He's on a date with Doris and intends to propose to her. Unexpectedly, Nick walks up to them and asks Doris for a dance. He starts mocking Osgood and even yanks off his wig, escalating tensions. Embarrassed, Doris drags Osgood outside, but Osgood insists he can handle Nick, despite appearing too old for a fight. Suddenly, Osgood snatches his wig from Nick and warns him. A brief scuffle breaks out, impressing Doris. She compels Nick to apologize, which he does, and then Doris runs to embrace Osgood, calling him her hero. The scene then transitions to a severely injured woman being dropped off at a hospital. A doctor heading out for air sees her and alerts the staff. When they ask her what happened, all she can say is Nick. The next morning, Nick, an expert bodyguard with a dangerous skill set and a gambling problem, wakes up and heads to work. He is approached by a young man named Cyrus Kinnick, who wants to hire Nick as a guide and bodyguard during his stay in Vegas. Cyrus, a gambler, says he was referred by a neighbor and wants protection, fearing people might take advantage of him due to his age. Nick agrees to the job. Later, Nick meets up with Osgood, revealing that the fight at the club was staged to impress Doris. Osgood pays Nick $500, offering an extra $500 as a bonus, but Nick turns it down. Nick then heads to a diner and tells his waitress friend, Roxy, that he needs $500,000 to retire in Corsica. Roxy gives him a message from a woman named Holly, asking him to visit her. Nick visits Holly, who turns out to be the woman dropped off at the hospital. A professional escort, Holly recounts being assaulted the previous night at the Golden Nugget Hotel by 3 men in an elevator who dragged her to their room. Their leader raped her, followed by the other 2, and they later dumped her outside the hospital. She offers Nick $100 for an hour of his time to help identify them so she can pursue legal action. Nick advises her to hire a lawyer or a detective, but Holly questions why he won't help, especially since he was once connected to the Golden Nugget. Nick reminds her that organized crime runs the hotel and he had warned her to stay away. He once refused an offer to work for the hotel's owner, Baby, and they agreed to stay out of each other's way. Nick then visits a housekeeper named Millicent, who tells him the man in question is Danny DeMarco, son of a Southern Italian mob boss, and gives him Danny's room number. She urges him not to get involved. Nick later lies to Holly, saying he couldn't find any leads. Holly realizes he's withholding information and reminds him how much she supported him, pleading for his help now. That night, Nick accompanies Cyrus on a casino tour but is preoccupied with thoughts of Holly. Seeking quieter surroundings, he takes Cyrus to a favorite spot, where Cyrus tries to learn more about him, but Nick remains evasive. While Cyrus plays, Nick reflects on Holly's plea, then abruptly leaves to tell her the attacker's name and room number. Holly reveals she doesn't want legal action, she wants revenge. She asks Nick to weaken them so she can exact her own justice. Nick heads to the Golden Nugget disguised as an associate of Baby. Danny's guards let him in, and Nick questions Danny about Holly. Danny arrogantly insults Holly, mistaking Nick for her pimp. Nick shows a credit card to prove otherwise. As Nick tries to leave, Danny insists he won't let him go without humiliating him first. When Nick refuses to flatter him, Danny orders his men to attack. Nick fights back using only his credit card, fending off the attackers. Danny tries to shoot him but fails. Nick overpowers and restrains them. He calls Holly, who arrives with scissors, threatening Danny. Terrified, Danny offers her $50,000 to spare him. Holly takes the money but also forces Danny to beg for forgiveness. Satisfied, she leaves with Nick. Outside, Nick advises her to leave town since retaliation is inevitable. They split the money and part ways. Nick heads to a casino and begins playing blackjack with his dealer friend Cassandra. Feeling lucky, he wins repeatedly until Cassandra's shift ends. At that point, he cashes out and meets Cyrus for a drink. He tells Cyrus he plans to retire. However, as he heads to the cashier, anxiety kicks in. Feeling the $500,000 isn't enough, he goes back to the table, wagering all of it, plus the $25,000 from Holly, on one hand. He loses everything. Devastated, Nick drinks heavily and eventually passes out. The next morning, Cyrus finds him and explains the staff helped him after he passed out. Cyrus then asks Nick to mentor him in bravery and self-defense. It's revealed Cyrus is a self-made millionaire and offers to make Nick wealthy in exchange for his guidance. Nick declines and heads to the bar. Suddenly, Danny's men arrive to kidnap him, leading to a violent fight where Nick unleashes his pent-up rage. Police intervene and take Nick to see Baby, the Vegas mob boss. Baby says Danny has accused Nick of breaking into his room and killing his men. Danny is brought in to give his version, but Nick insists he never uses guns, hinting Danny is lying. When Nick mentions the injury he inflicted on Danny's groin, Baby demands Danny drop his pants. Danny refuses, revealing the truth. Baby sides with Nick, promising to handle the situation. Afterward, he warns Nick that there will be consequences. Later, Nick returns to the diner, where Cyrus joins him. Cyrus confesses his fear of leaving Vegas and thanks Nick for everything he taught him. He hands him a $500,000 check and a plane ticket to Corsica. Just then, Danny's men storm the diner, but Cyrus creates a diversion by singing, allowing Nick to escape. A chase ensues, with Danny's men hunting for him. Determined to end things, Nick confronts and kills them all. Afterward, Cyrus finds him and again offers the check and plane ticket. Though hesitant, Nick finally accepts, deciding to leave Vegas before Danny's father comes seeking vengeance.